In today's video, I'll be talking all about the future of Blackpool Pleasure Beach, one of the UK's best amusement parks. I want to cover pretty much every major theme park in the UK before moving over to predicting the future of theme parks in Europe and then further afield around the world. The last one for now is the Pleasure Beach before we go over to Ireland in the next video. If you enjoyed today's video and you'd like to see my future prediction videos, then please do subscribe and leave a like. Without further ado, let's just get straight into it. Starting with the entrance area, I think it would be great to see a complete refurb and rethink of it so it fits with the more modern look that the Pleasure Beach has been going for recently. It actually won't need to be anything huge, and I'm just imagining two modern ticket kiosks either side of a roller coaster drop. We'll get onto that now. Since they are clearly keen to work with Mack rides as much as possible, I think that one of their Big Dipper roller coasters would be a great fit. But in order for it to stand out, they should make it into the first dive coaster that the UK has had in over 20 years. Take out the metal ornaments, if you can even call them that, and build the lift hill, turn around and drop there, and remove Ice Blast for the station and queue line. After the drop in moment, the new roller coaster could journey off up the side of the car park for an out and back layout with a vertical loop, ejector airtime hills and lots of twists and turns close to the ground. As far as the name and theme goes, they could link it in with Valhalla, as that's not going anywhere anytime soon with the big refurb it's going through right now. I guess we need to remember that the Pleasure Beach is only an amusement park, so let's not expect much more than a themed up station and a few barrels around the queue line, but that's okay, it's something at least, and as long as it's a good ride like these Big Dipper coasters are, and it looks alright, then I doubt there'll be many complaints whatsoever. A few years later, I'd take out the Skyforce ride, as it unfortunately just doesn't seem to be very popular. It's okay, but nothing really very special to be honest, and in a landlocked park with little spare space, it probably needs to go for something new, but it can definitely be sold on to another park. An Intamin gyro swing going out towards the sea would look absolutely great, and will be a much needed extreme flat ride for the park, with loads of different theme and name options possible, from the more generic weather-based ones to even possibly becoming part of its own new small themed area. While we're out at this area of the park, I think that the Pleasure Beach should have a serious look at knocking down the empty shops along the seafront, and I think that they should expand the Boulevard Hotel further out along there. It would obviously look far better than empty shops, and would also make a fortune for the Pleasure Beach, as it'd have more sea view rooms to sell at a higher price. Over in Nickelodeon Land, the building that used to house the Space Invader coaster doesn't really look right in the area, to be honest, in my opinion, and I'd move the pizza and pasta restaurant in there over onto the main midway to replace the current arcade in the big dome next door to the Wallace and Gromit ride, and I'd use this site for a brand new ride. There are two options that I think would be a good fit. The first would be to add an interactive dark ride to the refurbished building, and the second would be to add a Mack spinning coaster to Nickelodeon Land, and this is where the queue line, station, shop and maybe even a small pre-coaster dark ride section could be. The coaster could wind its way around the area, and a big section of the ride could take place in the area in the middle of Nickelodeon Street's turnaround, where the steeplechase is at the moment. I certainly don't think that the steeplechase is going to be around for much more than another decade tops, and if you want to see what I think should replace it, then I've made a whole separate video talking about just that. The link's in the description. Anyway, back to the spinning coaster. A colour scheme of black supports and green track would look cool, and the best Nickelodeon based theme that they could probably go for would be to turn the cars into turtle shells and theme it to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Big Dipper definitely needs some work doing to it to preserve it and keep it open long term as one of the oldest roller coasters in the world. For this to happen, a lot of retracking work and maybe even a bit of reprofiling in a few areas needs to take place, as well as, I think, a new train, which is where I think a lot of the problems right now are coming from. The work that RMC did at retracking parts of Silverwood Theme Park in Idaho's wooden coasters would be absolutely perfect for the Big Dipper, and with the rides I'm about to talk about next, it could be part of a bigger deal with RMC. I don't know about you, but I think it's definitely time that the UK gets an RMC roller coaster. The area where the Wild Mouse used to be and where the fountains are is in some major need of TLC in my opinion. It could be a much more attractive entertainment area with a permanent stage built up, and what they're calling the hub right now could be much bigger and take over the whole area instead of just being closed off over to the side. Lots of tables and chairs can be set up near the stage for people to watch shows nearer to, and the shipping container food kiosks and seating area that there is right now could be taken out and replaced with a proper restaurant. In the future, I'd like to see an Intamin sky jump drop tower, similar to the one at Grona Lund in Stockholm, installed over where the Wild Mouse used to be, which will be a very worthy replacement of Ice Blast and will become the most intimidating ride in the park by far, if not the most intimidating ride in the whole of the country. Last but definitely not least, and long into the future, a new roller coaster needs to come to the site behind the arcade, opposite the river caves. My pick will be an RMC Raptor coaster. It's very different to the other roller coasters, and it stands apart with how it looks as well, since the trains absolutely haul around the ride. I remember when I first saw a video of the Wonder Woman at Six Flags Fiesta Texas, I thought it was sped up for a minute, and I was absolutely shocked at how rapid the ride is and how quickly it takes all of the elements in the ride. I don't often say this, but I think that they should stick with the prototype layout. It's compact, tall with the steep drop and dive loop, very visible, and cloning the ride will save the Pleasure Beach a lot of money, making it a heck of a lot more likely to actually happen. I'd redo the facade of the river caves at the same time and give the ride some kind of wilderness theme, maybe even a beaver as a bit of a nod back to the history of the park, with colours that make it stand out from the other rides in the park. What would you like to see changed at Blackpool Pleasure Beach? Please do leave a comment below, as you've probably thought of some good ways of improving the park that haven't even crossed my mind, so I'd definitely be interested to see what you think. Along with those ideas for big changes in the park I've come up with, I'm also hoping to see some retracking work on the Grand National, and another good thing that we're getting for next year, let's remember that they're putting a spinning coaster car on the back of Icon. I think that that'll be a really good addition to the park, and something very different that, other than in Australia with the new ride they're opening there, and it was tested on Blue Fire at Europa Park as well, it's just not something we've really seen before, a roller coaster with normal trains and then a spinning one at the back. So it will definitely be something really unique and interesting, and I look forward to giving that a go and seeing if the layout that Icon has lends itself to being a spinning coaster. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in my next video, which will be out very soon. Bye now.